A black man enters a grocery store. He walks through the automatic doors and steps into the busy aisles. It's a typical afternoon, with people browsing through produce and shelves. The man walks calmly, checking items on his shopping list. He picks up some bread, a carton of milk, and a few other essentials. He takes his time, comparing prices and placing things in his basket. There's nothing unusual about his actions. He doesn't rush, he doesn't act suspiciously. In the corner of the store, a security guard watches him. The guard stands near the entrance, keeping an eye on customers. At first, the man's presence doesn't seem to stand out. But then the guard's gaze lingers on him. The man hasn't done anything wrong, but the guard's attention is now fixed on him. He begins to follow him, keeping a safe distance. The man doesn't notice the guard's gaze. He's focused on his shopping, scanning the shelves for the best deals. The store is busy, with other customers walking past. They don't notice the tension between the man and the guard. Everything seems normal, except for the uneasy feeling the guard has. The man walks further into the store. He's unaware that he's being watched. The only sign that something's amiss is the guard's growing suspicion. He continues his rounds, but his focus is on the man. The scene feels peaceful at first, but in the background, the situation is about to change. The man finishes picking up the last of his items. He pushes his cart toward the checkout, still unaware of the eyes following him. At the front of the store, he gets in line. It's a quiet spot in the store, with only a few customers ahead of him. As he waits, the security guard approaches. The guard's footsteps are loud on the tile floor. The man looks up, noticing him for the first time. The guard stands close now, blocking his path. "Excuse me, sir," the guard says firmly. "I need you to step aside." The man, confused, looks around. "What's going on?" he asks. The guard's expression is serious. "We believe you've taken something without paying." The man's eyes widen in surprise. "What? I didn't steal anything." He looks around to see if anyone else heard. Other customers glance over, but they don't seem too concerned. The guard doesn't back down. "You need to come with me," he insists. The man shakes his head, still holding his basket. "Listen," the man says, "I've been shopping just like everyone else. I paid for everything. I didn't steal anything." But the guard's voice doesn't soften. He calls for store employees to come over and help. A few workers walk toward them, confused but obedient. The situation is starting to draw attention. The man stands still, trying to stay calm. "You're making a mistake. I haven't done anything wrong." His voice shakes slightly, but he doesn't want to lose his composure. One of the employees steps forward. "Is there a problem here?" he asks the guard. "He's been caught stealing," the guard replies, pointing at the man. The man shakes his head. "That's not true. Why would I steal?" he asks, trying to keep his voice steady. The store employees exchange looks. They don't know what to do. The man feels the weight of the situation growing. People are starting to stare. His face flushes with embarrassment, but he keeps his stance. He doesn't want to give in to the accusation. "You need to check the footage," the man says. "It'll show I didn't take anything." The guard looks at him with skepticism. "We'll see about that," he says coldly. He signals to the manager. "Call the manager, we'll check the cameras." As the manager is called over, the tension in the store builds. Customers stand quietly, some whispering, some looking uncertain. The man feels his pulse quicken. He just wants this misunderstanding to end. But for now, all he can do is wait. The store manager arrives, walking briskly toward the scene. She looks around, trying to make sense of the situation. The guard explains what happened, his voice still carrying a tone of accusation. The man's face remains calm, though frustration is building inside him. "He was acting suspicious," the guard says. "I saw him put something in his jacket." The man interrupts, shaking his head. "That's not true. I didn't hide anything. I've been holding my basket the whole time." The manager looks at him, assessing the situation. "Okay," she says, trying to stay neutral. "Let's check the security footage. That'll clear everything up." A few store employees start moving toward the back of the store, preparing to access the cameras. The man watches them go, wishing he could just leave. His heart races as the reality of the situation starts to set in. He knows he's innocent, but the doubt in people's eyes makes him feel small. A few customers are still watching. Some of them exchange quiet whispers, unsure of what to believe. The The man can hear them, their murmurs making him feel even more exposed. Was he being judged? Were they starting to think he might be guilty? Let's not jump to conclusions, the manager says, trying to reassure everyone. But her voice lacks confidence. The tension is thick. The air feels heavy as the man stands there, waiting for the footage to be pulled up. He looks down at the items in his basket. Bread, milk, some fruit, all things he's paid for. Yet somehow, none of it matters right now. He's being treated like a criminal, and there's nothing he can do but wait for the truth to come out. The store employees finally return with a laptop, the security footage ready to play. The manager gestures toward the screen. "Let's see what happened," she says. The room falls silent as everyone gathers around, watching the footage closely. The man's eyes lock onto the screen, his nerves on edge. He hopes with every part of him that the video will show the truth. He knows it will, but the fear of what could happen next still lingers. The security footage begins to play. The screen flickers for a moment before the footage starts. The camera shows a clear view of the grocery store aisles with the man walking into view. He's pushing his shopping cart, browsing through the shelves. Everything seems normal. He looks like any other customer. The camera zooms in a bit as the man picks up a loaf of bread, carefully inspecting the label. He places it in his basket, then moves on to the next aisle. There's nothing unusual about his movements, no sudden gestures, no quick movements to hide something. As the footage continues, the man picks out more items: milk, eggs, fruit, a couple of canned goods. He's deliberate in his actions, placing each item into his basket with care. There's no sign of anything being hidden or concealed. He doesn't seem to be in a hurry. He's just shopping. The video cuts to the checkout line, where the man is standing, waiting for his turn. He's calm, no rush at all. The camera focuses on the register as he places his basket on the conveyor belt. The cashier scans the items one by one: bread, milk, fruit, and so on. The man pulls out his wallet, takes out his card, and pays for his items. The transaction is smooth, with nothing out of the ordinary. The cashier hands him the receipt, and he takes it, placing it in his pocket. He picks up his bags and heads toward the exit. The security guard watching the footage now shifts uncomfortably. The footage clearly shows the man shopping and paying for everything. There is no evidence of theft. The security guard's face turns pale. He'd been so sure. But now, the truth is staring him in the face. The manager watches the screen, her expression tight. She glances at the security guard, her disappointment evident. The guard looks down, unable to meet her eyes. He's been caught in his mistake, and there's no way to deny it now. As the footage plays on, the man stands there, his heart pounding. He knows what the footage will show, but the stress of the situation has taken a toll on him. He watches himself on the screen, seeing how calm he appeared as he went through the motions of his day. He feels a mix of relief and anger. Why was he treated this way? Why did the guard assume he was a thief? The video ends, and the silence in the room is almost deafening. The manager turns to the man, her voice soft but firm. "I'm so sorry," she says, her face filled with regret. "We've made a mistake." The man nods, still processing everything. His emotions are a whirlwind. He's relieved that the truth is finally clear, but he's also frustrated. No one should have to go through this. He didn't deserve to be accused like this. The security guard looks down, his face flushed with embarrassment. He doesn't say anything. The man doesn't want to look at him. He doesn't want to hear any excuses or apologies. All that matters now is that the truth is known. The manager turns to the guard, speaking in a low voice, though it's clear she's upset. She's not yelling, but her disappointment is obvious. The guard's posture slumps as he listens, knowing he messed up. The man stands there, waiting for the situation to be wrapped up. He wishes he could just leave, but the tension in the air is still thick. The guard's mistake is now clear to everyone in the room, and there's nothing he can do to change it. The manager turns to the man, her face apologetic. "We're so sorry for the misunderstanding," she says softly. "This should never have happened." She offers him a sincere look of regret, but the damage has already been done. The man nods, still processing everything. "I just don't understand," he says, his voice quieter now. "Why would you assume I stole something? I've done nothing wrong." The frustration is clear in his tone, but he's holding himself together. His eyes stay on the manager, waiting for some kind of reassurance that the store takes full responsibility. "I know, and you're absolutely right," the manager replies. "I'm really sorry. We'll review our procedures so this doesn't happen again." She gives him a small, uncomfortable smile, but it feels hollow. The apology doesn't erase the embarrassment he's just experienced. The man nods but doesn't say anything. He doesn't feel like he needs to explain himself any further. The security guard is still standing to the side, looking awkward and unsure. He doesn't meet the man's eyes. The man can tell that the guard is embarrassed, but it doesn't matter now. The damage was done. The store manager gestures toward the counter. "As a gesture of goodwill," she says, "we'd like to offer you a gift card. It's not much, but it's the least we can do." The man looks at the gift card, then back at the manager. He takes it, but the gesture feels empty. The apology feels empty. He just wants to leave. Without another word, he grabs his bags and heads toward the exit. He's glad this is over, but the weight of the situation still lingers. Walking out of the store, he feels a strange mixture of relief and frustration. The truth was revealed, but it didn't make the experience any easier. As the man steps outside, the cool air hits his face, but it doesn't calm him. His mind races with thoughts. He walks down the sidewalk carrying his grocery bags. The world feels the same, but his experience at the store feels like it's marked him. The situation wasn't just about the accusation, it was about how quickly things escalated, how easily someone can be judged without cause. He thinks back to the moment when the guard first approached him. The sudden shock of the accusation, the disbelief that something like this was happening to him. It felt like the ground beneath him shifted, like the whole store was suddenly against him. His chest tightens as he remembers how the customers looked at him. Curious, suspicious, some even whispering. It was a feeling he had tried to ignore for years. The feeling that being a black man, he could easily be seen as a threat. He wonders how many other people, especially people of color, have faced the same thing. How many times has someone been wrongfully accused just because of the way they look? The thought makes him feel sick. He wishes there was more empathy, more understanding in the world. It feels so easy for others to assume things based on stereotypes, even when there's no evidence to back it up. The guard's actions were wrong, but they were a reflection of a bigger problem. One that isn't fixed by a simple apology or a gift card. The man slows his pace. He feels both drained and determined. His heart still beats a little faster than usual, but now it's not just from the rush of fear. It's from the realization that this experience wasn't isolated. It wasn't just about him. It was a reminder of the prejudice and assumptions people make every day. He doesn't know what would make things better. He doesn't know if anything can. But he knows this. The truth came out, and for him, that was enough. It wasn't about the gift card or the apology, it was about clearing his name, proving he was innocent. But the emotional weight of being wrongly accused, of feeling the eyes of others on him, would stay with him long after today.